Yep, ready.
Oh, good evening, folks. What do we have here?
Rocket.
A rocket. And it's called a part of a program called Snapshot.
Say that again, Hal.
It's called
Look at the
Snapshot.
camera.
And what we see here at the very top, and here it is, the same thing, very top. This is what's called the Snap 10A reactor. And this produces power. And the power then, coming from this little thing here, powers the rest of the rocket, as well as the payload. And this is a nuclear reactor, and it doesn't start to operate until it gets into orbit. And the orbit in this case is 2,000 miles up. And the reason for that is because once the mission is over, we shut the reactor down, and the nuclear fuel, which is very highly radioactive, then decays. After 2,000 years, this will re-enter the Earth and will burn up on re-entry. This will come and hit the Earth, probably go inside a couple hundred feet, and it then is no longer radioactive. And that's the reason for the long life. Now, you see this at the top. This, as I said, generates heat. The heat then is conducted with a fluid, sodium potassium. It's a liquid, and it flows down here. And you can't see it really, but this is a radiator that radiates the heat from here to space. Otherwise, it would burn up if we didn't get rid of this heat. So this is a radiator. And the rest of this is propulsion tanks.
What's the yellow part for?
What there?
Yeah, what's the yellow part for?
What is
The yellow. No, the yellow.
The
Yeah.
big, like
Yeah,
that part.
yeah, this part here now
What does
supports the rocket engine. And this rocket engine then was, after it's separated from the booster, you see the thing, that big long cylinder that's on the launch pad. It has, that's fueled by liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. After this gets up into orbit, or not quite to orbit, this rocket engine goes off, takes off. And the fuel for it is in here.
Are the seats above? Are the seats above the engine?
Oh, there's no people in this one, I don't
No,
think.
there's no people.
This was
in
before people in the
Yeah.
rockets.
There's no people. It's not like a moonshot. And so this then has this stage 2 has its own engine. Hydrogen and oxygen. And that gives the force. As this fluid goes out and burns, it pushes up. Pushes down, the fluid going out as water, hydrogen, oxygen, make water, and then this pushes this into orbit. And once in orbit, this then enters the orbit of the Earth. And in fact, it comes over your head every 90 minutes
Wow.
because this is still up at 2,000 miles.
Every hour and a half, it's still going
It's
around?
still going around
The
at
Earth
20,000
that
miles.
fast?
It's in a polar orbit, meaning it goes directly over our head, but of course we can't see it.
It's too far away?
It's too far away to see. And so in 2,000 years, which is a little beyond what we'll be.
Is it far?
Yes, honey.
Is it far upwards or downwards?
It launched upwards.
So it's upwards.
Yeah, up to 2,000 miles, and then it went into a circular orbit around the Earth. Yes.
So if you go in a rocket, will you see it?
What, honey?
If you go up in a rocket, will you see
If
it?
you went up to about 2,000 miles, you would see it
Above your head.
every 90 minutes.
Can telescopes see that far? 2,000 miles up? It can't be seen then, so we don't know.
We don't know.
Okay, what
You
about
have
that
the
other thing
treasures,
over
you know?
there?
Huh?
What about the other piece over there with the white cap
Oh,
and
this
the
is another payload.
stuff in it? What does payload mean?
This is what they carry up, and it does experiments. And this one here, I can't talk too much about.
It's not declassified yet?
It's declassified, but actually, I don't know what it is.
I forgot. It's
not
been so
part-
long you forgot.
It's not part of the snapshot program. It's
Oh.
another model that
Well, what did your snapshot have? What was its payload then?
the payload
What was it
was,
looking
was
at?
the reactor.
Oh, just the reactor.
This was the payload.
Okay.
Okay.
And in easy words, what did the payload have in it and what does it do? And
Okay.
because we have to have easier words now that we got the full scientific version. I need easy words for normal people.
Well, for the snapshot program or for other
That-
programs?
This one that
Well,
we're
this
talking,
was-
that
this-
yours.
Okay, this is the payload. We were demonstrating that it could be flown,
Mm-hmm.
be put in orbit, and it could deliver electrical power
Mm-hmm.
to a spacecraft. This part here, and could do experiments.
So how do we know it's still operating? Does it send signals? Somebody's still tracking it?
After about 40 days, there was a glitch, and this shut itself down.
Oh
Yeah, so
no.
we never did get the full life.
Is it still up there?
Yeah, it'll be up there for 2,000 years less. See, this was launched in 65, 35, 55, less than 55 years. 2,000 minus 55. How much is 2,000 minus 55?
Oh, Eli can do that one.
1,045. Wait, no,
1,945.
1,945.
Whoa, nice
Good job.
math.
Very good.
Good job.
Nice math.
Liz, why did he does it now?
He's doing it in his head. He's good.
So remember, kids, the program itself was called Snapshot.
Miles,
And it launched
Pay
in
attention.
1963.
snapshot.
Snap.
Like a picture, it's a snapshot.
And then the booster, which I don't show here, which you'll see it in pictures on the launch pad. It sits on that booster, which was a Titan. No, let's see. This was an Atlas booster. This went up with an Atlas. There's two main boosters, Atlases and Titans.
Like your
Okay.
buffalo. Titan.
And what else can I tell you?
What does
about-
Agena mean?
What there?
What is
Agena?
Agena? B.
Agena B was this part of the payload,
Okay.
the engine, and all our Lockheed missiles were called Agenas.
Okay. And then snapshot 10A. Does that mean there were
That's the
nine
payload. That's the payload. No, there was
others or just
no. There was other snapshots. There was a snapshot 1, which was a radioisotope,
mm-hmm.
and then there was the snapshot 2 was a let's see. First one was radioactive. The second one was for a Atlas launch.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, this was Snap 10A, which was separate.
And then it at the bottom it says USAF AEC Snapshot Program.
It's
So
called the Snapshot Program
and U.S. Air Force.
with the Atomic Energy Commission, because they're the ones that funded this.
Uh,
And this, by the way, was made at Rocketdyne, North
Okay.
America.
so what was your part in this?
I was the program manager for this,
Okay.
Which means what?
which means I was in charge of the development up through the launch. Of course, I had people working under me.
How many people under you?
Well, it's hard to say because we had contractors like as I mentioned, North American. They had a portion which dealt with this, and I should mention that it has a radiator where the sodium potassium, the fluid that cooled the reactor, which flowed through the heat that was generated by this reactor, was transferred to a radiator that had what we call NaC, sodium potassium. It's a liquid. And then that liquid was pumped to the surface of this cone here, and that radiated the heat to space. So that prevented this from melting. But also, it generated electrical power.
Cool. Exciting, huh, guys? Thank you. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Nice presentation.